In count 2, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle with an expired tag or unlawful registration. This is an unclassified misdemeanor. The fine could be as high as $2,500. The sentence could be 30 days to 6 months, probation and an option, and the fine is usually much less, but not necessarily has to be. We are on the record in BU 2026 TR 756, State of Kansas versus Lawrence Edward Smith Jr. Please announce appearances.
Jared McGeer on behalf of the state.
And sir, are you Lawrence Edward Smith Jr.?
I am.
And you do not have an attorney today, is that correct?
I do not.
Looks like this is time to read you your rights and charges. In count 1, you're accused of speeding 75 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone on April 5th of 2026. This is a traffic infraction. It has a scheduled fine, but no jail time should you be convicted. In count 2, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle with an expired tag or unlawful registration. This is an unclassified misdemeanor. The fine could be as high as $2,500. The sentence could be 30 days to 6 months, probation and an option, and the fine is usually much less, but not necessarily has to be. Count 3, you're charged with driving without proof of liability insurance, a B misdemeanor, carries a maximum fine of, well, the fine could be, it has to be at least $300, but no more than $1,000 if you don't have any prior convictions for driving without insurance. And it can have a jail sentence up to 6 months. Now, you have the right to an attorney. Do you want to hire an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
You want to apply for court appointed. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed.
Yes, please.
All right. Deputy, would you give him an application to fill out? And when will his court date be, Jenna?
Your Honor, I was actually going to request to apply for diversion.
You can do that too, or instead of if you want.
Yes.
So let's give him a diversion review court date.
Let's go ahead and do August 19th.
All right. You must either be fully diverted or be back here August 19th at 9 a.m., Mr. Smith. And let's see about your bond situation. You have not posted a bond. I'm going to order that you get booked and processed, and your bond will be, Mr. Regier, I'm thinking $2,500. Do you want to be OR? Do you want to be heard on that?
One moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
No objection to that amount and type of bond, Your Honor, given that the defendant appears in the fashion that he does today.
All right, that is the order. And Deputy, if you'll help him make sure he gets that squared away.
Already done.
And
Ready,
then back,
done.
thank you. And then back to Mr. Jones. And you're here on,
Yes, Your Honor.
tell me his name again.
Nicole Stewart. I saw
name.
a moment ago.
Yes, okay. We're on the record in BU 2026 TR 267, State of Kansas versus Nicole Ann Stewart. Please announce appearances.
Jared Regier on behalf of the state.
May it please the court, the defendant appears in person through Zoom and with counsel Jeff Jones, also through Zoom from a separate location.
She's here on driving after being declared habitual and driving on the in the wrong lane. How do she want to proceed? Does she want formal reading of those rights and charges?
No, we'd waive formal reading. And at this point, enter a plea of not guilty, but Mr. McGeer and I have had some back and forth on this. I don't know that we've finalized anything at this point.
Do you want to set it over to that Monday, August 24th at 9 a.m.? Or would you rather have a different day?
August 24th, let me just double check my calendar. I think that'll probably work.
All right.
24th, that'd be at 9 a.m.
Yes,
Yeah, that'd be fine. And between now and then, Mr. Regier and I may be able to resolve it.
very well. All right, she has an A misdemeanor, so she'll need to go into a breakout room and set up a time to get picture and prints, and I'm gonna set her bond at 2,500 OR.
Your Honor, with all due respect, the state does wish to be heard on this particular matter.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, as the court has already observed, count one is charged as a Class A misdemeanor, specifically driving while habitual violator. Under KSA 8285 and 8287, state further understands that this is a case where the elevated sentence under KSA 8287 applies in this case, and this is defendant with a history of failing to appear for court at least 11 times. State would respectfully suggest a $4,000 OR bond under these circumstances would be more appropriate.
Counsel Jones, anything you'd like to say about that?
As long as it's OR, I think that's very acceptable.
24 at night.
All right, I will continue you on a $4,000 OR bond, Ms. Stewart, with the condition that you either have this resolved or be back here August 24th at 9 a.m. Mr. Jones, you and your client will need to go in a breakout room to set up a time for her to get the picture and prints. Court security 2, you will handle that, is that right?
Well,
You got it.
were you taken into custody, Nicole, at the time?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe you were. Okay, no, that's fine. We'll go to whatever breakout room we need to.
Now, of course, Mr. Jones, you won't have to accompany her unless you particularly want to, and she wants to have you do that. But I just thought, if you want to go in the breakout room, if you don't, you can go.
It's up
Is
to
this your-
it's up to Ms. Stewart. If she wants me to go with her, I'll be happy to. If all she's doing is trying to set an appointment, she probably, like you say, she probably doesn't need me, but
Yeah, and I think she's already gone in the breakout room without you, but
okay.
all right. So I'm going to excuse you unless you have someone else on the docket, Mr. Jones.
That's all I have on today's docket. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, is this a defense request for continuance for
Yes.
speedy trial purposes?
Yes,
Yes.
we'll accept the time, of course.
Okay. All right, Deputy, who do you have with you now?
I have Sage Woody, last name Woody.
On the record in BU 2026 TR 54, State of Kansas versus Sage Evan Woody. Gerald Regier for the state. Mr. Woody appears in person pro se. You are Sage Woody.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are here today. So I was saying you are here today for allegedly driving without vehicle liability insurance, or at least having proof of it when requested. And in count 2, operating a vehicle without registration or with expired tag in this county, Butler County, December 20th of 2025. Count 1, the insurance charge is a B misdemeanor. The fine has to be at least $300 if you're convicted, but no more than $1,000. You could get a up to 6-month jail sentence, but probation could be an option. On count 2, the expired tag, the fine could be up to $2,500. The sentence could be 30 days to 6 months, again, probation being an option. You do have the right to an attorney. You can hire any attorney of your choice, or if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed, or you can waive your right to attorney and represent yourself. How do you wish to proceed on the issue of an attorney, Mr. Woody?
I don't want one, Your Honor.
You know you do have the right to one.
Yeah.
And you can hire or apply for court appointed. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing that, you wish to waive your right to an attorney and proceed on your own behalf? Or basically represent yourself?
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pleading guilty because I don't have those things, insurance or registration.
Well, you could talk to an attorney and see if there's anything they could do to help you. It's up to you.
No, let's get it over with.
All right, the officer will have a form for you to sign called a waiver of counsel. Please be sure and read that, and if you don't understand it, Ask me any questions you need to.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand it?
Yep.
Read and signed, Judge.
All right, the record will reflect in the docket notes and journal entry that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to counsel today, both in writing on the record and orally on the record. Now, do you want to plead not guilty to these charges and set them for trial? Do you want to plead guilty, admitting them, and proceed to sentencing? Or do you want to plead no contest? That means you don't want to admit them, but you don't want to deny them and take them to trial. You'd still be found guilty and proceed with sentencing. Or I could give you time to look into diversion, possibly get the charges dismissed upon payment of fines, costs, and proof of insurance and tag. You want to look into
Uh,
diversion?
I'm just gonna plead guilty. Your
All
Honor.
right. By pleading guilty, you want to admit that you did drive without insurance and tag in Butler County on December 20th of 25?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone making you enter these guilty pleas today by any kind of threat or promise?
Sorry, what was that? I got bad hearing.
Is anyone making you enter these pleas today?
No, no, ma'am.
No one's forcing you to do this?
No, ma'am.
No one's promising you something if you do?
No, ma'am.
Did you drive a vehicle in Butler County on December 20th of 25?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember what highway or roadway you were driving on when the officer encountered you?
No, but I know where I was by. I was by 54.
554?
Yeah, I was on a dirt road.
Okay, were you between Augusta and Andover or El Dorado and Wichita?
Yeah, I was between Augusta and Andover.
On one of those dirt roads there?
Yeah, I live over by there, by the landing strip, by
Okay.
the attorney office.
Mr. Regier, do you have a proffer of what road he would have been on?
Your Honor, on the issue of jurisdiction, the state would proffer the ticket in this matter. It appears to refer to the stop occurring at 11,200 Southwest Indianola. State's information is that is within Butler County boundaries between Andover, Augusta, and Rose Hill city limits.
And Indianola, I believe, is the road that runs by the airport, isn't it? Counsel, or Mr. Woody, does that sound right to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, the state's information is that particular location as proffered by the state on the ticket is just south of the airport referred to by the court.
And that'd be the, what do they call that? The Augusta Airport, Municipal Airport or something like that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I found I do have jurisdiction and that the defendant knowingly and voluntarily pleads guilty. You're saying you didn't have any insurance and your tag was expired.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I accept your pleas as knowingly and voluntarily entered. I do find you guilty of both counts 1 and 2. Mr. Regier, do you have any sentencing recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor. With respect to count 1, the no proof of insurance charge, the state is prepared to recommend the minimum fine required by law of $300, as well as court costs and a suspended jail sentence of 6 months. The state would further recommend a $50 fine and a concurrent 30-day sentence with respect to count 2, also again subject to a non-reporting probation of 6 months. This is a case where it would appear that law enforcement was dispatched to the scene of an accident, at which time they identified the defendant as the operator of the motor vehicle. Additionally, this is a defendant who appears to have at least one prior conviction within approximately the last 2 to 3 years out of Sedgwick County for speeding, if the court is prepared to accept a proffer from the certified driving record.
All right, thank you. I am. Now on count 1, did you recommend a 6-month or a 30-day underline?
Your Honor, the state would recommend 6 months, as count one does appear to be charged as a Class B misdemeanor. The state does recommend that is appropriate, although the state does acknowledge that the KSA 8149 does authorize a period up to 6 months with respect to count two. The state is satisfied with a 30-day concurrent sentence, resulting in a controlling sentence of 6 months if those are the court's orders.
All right, Mr. Woody, is there anything you'd like to say about your sentence before I pronounce it? You don't have to, but you can if you like.
No, ma'am.
All right, then at this time, on count one, driving without proof of insurance, your fine is the minimum required by law of $300. Your jail sentence will be 6 months suspended. And on count two, your fine is $50 and your sentence is 30 days. That is concurrent, also suspended. That means that should you have to serve your jail time, you wouldn't serve the 6 months and then start the 30 days. You'd serve them both at the same time for a total combined of 6 months actual service. Your court calls for ordered of 108, so the total due would be $458. How much time do you need to pay that, or can you pay that today?
Can I pay $100 a month? Does that work for you guys?
Okay, so would 4 months be enough? Pay just a little more than 100?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the defendant has 4 months to pay, or 120 days. We'll say you have 120 days to pay, but make sure you pay that, because instead of making you serve that jail time, I'm gonna give you a 6-month non-reporting probation. As long as you comply with that non-reporting probation, you won't have to do your jail time. But if you violate your probation in the next 6 months, it could be revoked and you could have to serve up to 6 months in the county jail. Here are your conditions that you must comply with. For the next 6 months, you are ordered not to violate any laws, and you are to pay the total due within 120 days. So stop by the clerk's office on your way out and find out how to make those payments so you don't get your probation revoked.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McGear, anything further we need to address?
Not on this matter, Judge.
Mr. Woody, anything further you would like to address?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You may go.
Thank you. There you go.
84 and a 65. And operating a motor vehicle without registration or expired tag. There he is, Mr. Stewart. The speeding charge is an infraction. It carries a scheduled fine, but no jail time. The other charge, the registration tag violation, is an unclassified misdemeanor. The penalty could be up to $2,500 in fines. It's usually much less. Your sentence is between 30 days and 6 months. Probation is an option. You do have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed, or you can waive your right to an attorney and exercise your right to represent yourself. Do you want to have an attorney, sir?
So I really don't understand how all this works, but I did file for I think you told me for a continuance, I think.
No, I never tell people to file for
They're not a
continuances.
continuance, it's what
I
you
don't
go
like the diversion. You're
you-
thinking diversion. Yes,
the-
you've been here a number of times, and
I filed for the
tell
diversion.
me, hold up. On January 28th, my notes say that your wife called and told the clerk that you had registration at the stop, but that's not the way registration works. Then on April 1st, you came in and talked to me and the traffic docket. You said you wanted to look into diversion, so I sent it over to today to give you time to look into diversion, where you could maybe get the tickets dismissed. Does that all sound familiar?
Yes, ma'am, and I did apply for the diversion, and I never got an email, letter in the mail, or anything.
Well, do you have any indication that you received the application, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, the state's information is that a diversion application was received in the early part of May last month, but was subsequently denied.
All right, so that answers that. You should have gotten something in the mail telling you it was denied, but apparently for whatever reason you didn't. So with diversion being denied, how do you want to proceed at this time, sir?
Whatever I gotta do to where I can just pay the fines. I would like to say this though. I don't really understand how all this works because I'm straight A's when it comes to the law. I've never been in anything. I have a Class A CDL. I'm a small business owner. I just want to do whatever I got to do the right thing, pay whatever I got to pay. Money's not an issue. I just want to get it done.
Well, I think you just explained why you didn't get diversion, because federal law prohibits the state from issuing diversion to a CDL holder.
Okay, well, and there we go.
So it wasn't probably anything you'd done other than having the CDL. All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
well, you don't understand. You can hire an attorney or apply for court appointed, and the attorney can explain to you at length if you wish. Do you want an attorney?
No, ma'am. I'll just, just plead
wanna-
guilty.
You
Plead
want to
guilty.
hang on. I can't get to guilty plea until we get the attorney issue resolved. So you want to waive your right to an attorney,
Yes, ma'am.
but you understand you can have an attorney if you want.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
All right, is anyone making you waive your right to an attorney by any threats or promises?
No, ma'am.
All right, then I will have the record reflect that you know what you're doing and you're doing it voluntarily, waiving your attorney. Now then, let's see, make sure you understand this. Count 1 is speeding. The state's alleging that you were driving in a 65 maximum posted speed zone, but that your vehicle was traveling at 84 when the officer checked it. So your charge was speeding 84 in a 65 mile per hour zone. Do you have any questions about that charge, what that means?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's see what the scheduled fine for 84 and a 65 would be. Okay.
Mr. Stewart, if you could remove your hat, you're in court.
Sorry.
All right, that fine is $99 plus 108 court costs.
99 plus 108.
And then count 2, operating a vehicle without a registration or tag. That is an unclassified misdemeanor. And your fine for that could be up to $2,500. It's usually much less. And then
Is there any way that I could fax in or send in the proof of registration that I have that?
well, what counts is what you had at the time you were traveling.
Okay, that's understand. Okay, I understand.
All right. Now, the possible sentence for that is anywhere from 30 days up to 6 months, but you could be given probation where you wouldn't have to serve that as long as you didn't violate your probation, which doesn't mean usually means you don't have to see a probation officer, but you have to violate no laws during your probationary period, and you have to pay your fines and costs in a time order.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand everything so far, or do you have any questions about anything so far?
No, ma'am. Just don't speed and don't get in trouble.
Right. Now, you can plead not guilty to one or both of these and set them for trial at a later date. The burden would be on the county attorney to try to prove you were doing these charges. If they couldn't, you would be found not guilty and the case would be over. If they did prove it, you could be given fines and sentence and probation, the same as if you entered a plea today.
Yes, ma'am.
You also could plead guilty, admitting one or both of those today, and we proceed with sentencing. Although usually if you plead not guilty to one, I usually send them both over for plea or for trial. If you plead not guilty to one, we just try them both.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you could plead no contest, which means you don't want to admit it, but you don't want to deny it and take it to trial. You'd still be found guilty, even though you're not making an admission. You'd be convicted. We'd go to trial, or I'm sorry, we'd go to sentencing, and you would not be able to have a trial or appeal your conviction after you entered the no contest and it was accepted. Any questions about any of this additional information?
No, ma'am.
All right. Sometimes when you represent yourself, you can negotiate with the state and they might make you the same offer they would if you had an attorney. Sometimes they won't. That's their decision. But how do you want to proceed on your pleas at this time?
I'll just plead guilty to the no registration.
If he pleads guilty to the registration, Mr. Regier, is there anything you want to say about count one? Not suggesting you have to, but just offering.
Your Honor, for the limited purpose of resolving this matter today, the state would be prepared to dismiss count one upon successful entry of a guilty plea to count two, the misdemeanor.
All right, you understand what he just said or having questions about it, Mr. Stewart?
So the speeding would go away if I plead guilty, and then I would just be responsible for the registration.
If you plead guilty to the registration, he will dismiss the speeding. Yes, it would go away.
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
All right, so you want to plead guilty to count two, operating a motor vehicle without registration or expired tag in Butler County, Kansas on January 9th of 2026.
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone making you enter this plea today by threat or promise?
No,
Other
ma'am.
than the dismissal of
No,
count
ma'am.
one? You understand that with this plea, you're giving up your right to a trial, and you won't get that back if you change your mind,
Yes, ma'am.
and you'll be found guilty and unable to appeal the conviction on the registration or tag. Registration tag.
Yes, ma'am. Now I do ask this though, does like something like this go on like a record where it would get me in trouble for anything?
Well, I believe it is a moving violation, but I can't tell you for sure. That's up to Topeka. And the effect of one may or may not. I can't answer that, in other words. I really don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
But it
It's just it's a
If you-
chance I'd be willing to take just because like, I'm an honest person and I just want to, be done with this.
Yeah, well, I can't really answer that for you, but I could give you a continuance in time to talk to someone, an attorney or the Department of Revenue that could.
Yes,
Driver
ma'am.
Solutions.
I'll just go through with it.
All
I'll
right.
plead guilty to both.
To the tag violation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you remember, let's see, I just saw that amended complaint information. Let me look at that. Yeah, speeding and unclass. Were you driving a 2016 Chevrolet in Butler County on January 9th of 2026?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you on Highway 54 inside of Butler County?
That sounds about right.
And your vehicle wasn't registered or legally tagged at the time?
Oh, no, ma'am.
All right. Well, I'm going to find that you knowingly and voluntarily are entering this plea. That is, you know what you're doing and that you're not doing it under any force. You're doing it of your own free will. And you've given me a factual basis for it. So I find you guilty of count two, Mr. Regier.
Yes, Your Honor. To supplement the record slightly on the issue of jurisdiction, the state would proffer the ticket in this matter, which does appear to refer to the stop occurring on US 54 at milepost 242. The state's information that is within Butler County boundaries. between Augusta and Leon city limits. On the issue of disposition, the state would be recommending a $50 fine, that the court impose appropriate court costs, a non-reporting probation of 6 months, subject to a suspended sentence of 30 days.
Do you move to dismiss count one?
I believe that was anticipated for purposes of resolving this matter today, as previously stated on the record, Your Honor.
All right, so count one is dismissed with prejudice per plea agreement. Your sentence on count two, for which you've been convicted, Mr. Stewart, includes a $50 fine and 108 court costs for a total due of $158. How much time would you like to pay that? 50 days, 60 days, 90 days?
I can pay it immediately.
All right, well, we're gonna have to get a journal entry in, so I'm gonna give you 30 days, really giving us 30 days to get that journal entry done. It'll probably be done sooner, but call the clerk of the district court for more specifics about payment. She's at 316-322.
316-322.
4370.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now, your suspended sentence is 30 days in jail, but you don't have to serve that unless you violate your probation. Your probation is for 6 months. It's non-reporting, so you don't have to see a probation officer. But for 6 months, you are on probation. And if you violate that probation, it can be revoked, and then you would serve for 30 days. Any questions so far?
No, ma'am, I understand.
All right, the only conditions that you have to comply with, condition one, don't violate any laws for 6 months. So violate no laws for 6 months. And number two, pay the total due to the clerk of the district court or the email address she gives you. Number two is pay within 30 days. If you do those two things, you won't have to worry about serving any jail time. If you violate those two, you may get your probation.
In this courtroom, the judge demonstrated that true justice is about more than punishment. Faced with a defendant who failed to follow instructions and struggled with personal responsibility, the judge remained patient, direct, and fair. Rather than immediately imposing harsh penalties, he took the time to explain the seriousness of the situation and offered a path toward improvement. His focus was on accountability, rehabilitation, and giving the defendant an opportunity to change. By balancing firmness with compassion, the judge showed why strong leadership matters in the courtroom. Justice works best when it guides people toward a better future.